Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of TokYo-Yo Reviews. I just hit 200 subscribers, so thank you guys. Thank you guys? Of course, I know 200 subscribers, I'm a pretty small channel, but I really appreciate every single person, all the comments, all the suggestions, the advice, the requests, everything. I just really love it. I love posting videos and seeing people's reactions and comments, so thank you guys so much for helping me get this far, and let's keep growing. This yo-yo was requested by an IAVY, and I've been putting it off for a while, but I'm finally ready to do it. Today we'll be taking a look at the YoYoFactory Edge. So, is this yo-yo just another trendy little bimetal, or is it going to give your skills the edge you need to succeed? Yeah, I know everybody's made the edge puns. Sorry, I'm late to the game. Of course, the Edge is Evan Nagao's signature model. You're gonna see here on the rim, you got YoYoFactory Edge. It's got Evan Nagao's name. And then you've got up here at the top, there it is, you've got the title of the yo-yo on the stainless steel rims, which is pretty nice. The shape is a very, very nice, I guess, WH hybrid. You got the sharp little angle up here. Then once you get to the rims, it starts to even out. Nice little wing shape. Very nice, very classy look inside here. You do have the axle dimple, and it's actually concaved. You can probably see that. And I've seen some people on Instagram and YouTube do finger spins on this, so I know that is possible. Not for me though. The material is a very, very nice 6061, very smooth, and then the rings here are stainless steel, obviously. The feel of this yo-yo is actually really comfortable, despite its kind of extreme shape, and despite that it's, a bimetal with some pretty wild weight distribution. It's extremely comfortable in the hand, very nice on the catch as well. And the look is just super stylish. A lot of bimetals are going with the metal on the rim here, but the Edge opts to keep the stainless steel off the very edge and keep it more toward the center a little bit, which does make things like palm grinds possible because there's less contact with the steel on your skin, and your skin only makes contact with the aluminum. It lets you also keep some of the weight in the center as well, so it allows for a little bit more of an even weight distribution. So as far as the history of this yo-yo, this is actually my very first bimetal. I went to Spin Gear, and at that point it was for me a decision between the Space Cadet and the Edge. Actually, the Space Cadet is pretty popular in Japan. All-rounders are very popular yo-yos, and when I showed interest in this, he said, it's very interesting, it's popular in America, but in Japan it's not really that big. But I got it anyway because I really love Evan Nagao's style. I lived in Hawaii for a while, so I also feel that that's cool. He's from Hawaii. But also, I just thought the shape was so interesting, and I wanted something kind of crazy for the first bimetal, so I did pick it up. And this one is one of the OG Edges. Now there's a whole bunch of new colorways, but this is one the first one's the blue and silver. Now there's blacks and oranges and pinks. There's an Anne Connolly version, and a whole bunch of different editions of the Edge. This was probably my third or fourth purchase of like a proper metal yo-yo, and I'm of course not that good, but I was a lot less experienced with different types of yo-yos when I bought this, and even then I could tell it's a totally different beast from a lot of other yo-yos, and a lot of different bimetals as well. It's extremely different, and I'll never forget that first throw where I was like, whoa, okay, this is different. It hasn't seen a lot of play. Apparently we're having a helicopter landing over here. I did ding it. You'll see there's one little ding here. That one was not such a big deal, but actually when I was restringing it once, I dropped it, and the ring did become dislodged. Now it's really, really, really solidly back in place. As far as the playability of the Edge, this thing is kind of a beast. It's extremely playable. It does have a huge gap, and I kind of like the phrase confidence inspiring. you kind of can't miss on this thing because of the huge gap. And that really complements Evan Nagao's style. His style is really wild. He does a lot of crazy things that other players wouldn't really even attempt. You know, you might think it's heavy because it's wide, but it's not. It's extremely nimble. The weight distribution of this thing is so crazy. It's so stable. It's so long spinning. It might be one of the most functional bimetals I've ever used. Just in terms of playability, it's kind of crazy. Like, I can't think of any other bimetals I have that spin this long and stay this stable. I love all the bimetals I have, but this one, just in terms of mechanically how it performs, is extremely strong. That said, it is very specific. If you're a fan of like the Countach or more boxier yo-yos like that, this is going to be more up your alley. But if you're a fan of more you know, typically shaped or organic shapes, this may not be the bimetal for you. But like I said, just in terms of performance, it's super nimble, it's super stable, it spins forever, it still has barely any vibe, and it doesn't have vibe on the string. It's just a tiny bit of nail vibe from the, I'm assuming, the bimetal, or from when I dropped it. Duh. And you're going to be able to grind, of course, and it's well balanced for that. You can finger spin, and I have seen people catch it in this little dimple here and spin just for years and years, but I'm not that accurate to hit it on that tiny little nubbin, so I haven't really tried that. But yeah, it's just an interesting yo-yo all around, and it's kind of a shame that I haven't thrown it more. I really should, because it's a very, very, very well balanced yo-yo. Yeah. So let's talk pros and cons of the YoYoFactory Edge. I love the wide shape. I really like yo-yos like this. I like the Countach as well, so this really works for me. I think it's really cool looking. Some yo-yos opt for the metal being on not the very edge, but on the center a little bit, and I really like that. And I think it works for the design as well. It's way lighter than you'd expect. Definitely not as heavy as you'd think looking at the shape and the size. But it does make sense that it is shaped and sized like this, because Evan Nagao, I believe, learned a lot of his trick style on the Monster, which is like a huge, super crazy wide YoYoFactory from a few years ago. And it's really well balanced, as I mentioned. You're not going to have any problems with tilting or anything like that, unless you're just like trying to tilt it on purpose. As far as the cons of the Edge, it is expensive. It's one of those 100 plus, and especially if you're going for a signature edition or a splash edition or one of the, like, the nice colorways, those do get expensive. They can get up into like the 110s, 120s, 130s, I think. And it's expensive in Japan also. It's a lot more expensive than it is in the States. And I guess this is not really another, it could be a con, I guess you can consider it, but it may not be for everyone. And I think if you're spending this much on a yo-yo and you're spending this much on a bimetal, you probably know if this is your style or not. For me, I really like this. I think if you're trying to get into the bimetal game, it's definitely a really friendly option. Some people might prefer something like the Space Cadet because it's a little bit more rounded, a little more organic, but I think this is comfortable and perfectly fine as is. And I'm really glad this was my first bimetal. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate all the new subscriptions. I'm going to be dipping into my collection a little bit and see what I'd like to review. And I've got some yo-yos coming in the mail, so that'll be fun. Maybe I'll drop a poll somewhere in the video, and you can tell me what you'd like to see next. Or if you'd like to see something else that's not in the poll, leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, have a nice day, and sayonara.